Hello, my name is Tarry, and oh my god, I join you on this lovely, glorious, sunny day. I'm trying to get this recording in the 1 hour of sunshine that England is currently getting per day at the moment, or at least where I am. And today, we're going to talk about the imminent release, September no less, of Codex Death Guard. Not just Codex Death Guard, but also Adeptus Mechanicus. Their Codex is coming out around the same time as well, which is absolutely awesome. Well, I'll just show you the cover for the Death Guard Codex. Oh, look at that. I have to admit, I'm a little bit disappointed there's no more Tarry or Typhus on the cover. Instead, going for Tentacles McGee there, but it looks alright, it looks decent. At least it's got new artwork. Jesus Christ. Adeptus Mechanicus seems to have one of the Skitari Rangers on it by the look of things, with one of those crazy stun baton jobs in his hand, and a gun. Looks alright, but it doesn't seem to be new, or at least I don't think it's new. Then again, I don't often play Adeptus Mechanicus, so I could be entirely wrong in that. Now, the important thing here is not just that the Codex is coming out, but that we have a nice, lovely, big image from the Death Guard Codex. And we've got lots of tasty stuff in it, which I will show you right here. And one of the most exciting things, obviously, is a new Typhus model. We'll get to that last. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about it. At first I was like, oh shit, new Typhus. And then I was like, do I like that? I don't know. But anyway, let's have a look at what you can expect from a nice, fully built Death Guard army, as you may find in the new Codex. Firstly, there's a better, not a better picture, no, it is technically a better picture, the better lit picture of Mortarion, which you'll have to forgive the resolution of the image. I have zoomed in a fair bit for the purpose of the video. I'll put a link to the original source in the comments, in the description, so you can actually have a look at it yourself, and if you want to zoom in even further, you can, but it's not that high res, so you tend to lose a bit of the detail. It goes a bit pixely. It's not great right now, but it's better than the original resolution, which is tiny. So, first things first, let's have a look at old Mortarion here. And I have to admit, I much prefer him now. I quite like. I don't know. I thought he was a bit busy before, and I still do think he's a little bit busy. But the non kind of blown out, oversaturated picture here, that makes him look way better to me. That looks 100 times better than that leaked image we had. In fact, when they did that little video showing Mortarion, that funny little sort of skit between the two Death Guard, the Tallyman and just Terminator dude, I did think that in that video Mortarion looked a hell of a lot better than he did in that leaked image. Frankly, the lighting and taking a photo of a photo, just as I'm taking a video of an image, does reduce quality quite a bit, and I think it showed, because when you look at him there, I mean, obviously with it being zoomed in a bit, you're losing a bit of the detail, it's a little bit pixely, but that looks way better to me. I mean, I think perhaps the colour scheme could do with a little bit of tweaking. I'd like to see a bit less purple, if I'm honest. I'd quite like to see a bit more black, or maybe even brown, like kind of almost like faded brown robes or something instead of the purple. It might work a little bit better. But seeing him in a sensible position and with sensible lighting, I think he looks a hell of a lot better. And there's certain things that even with this sort of zoomed in image that I think you can get a better feel for than out of that leaked image, I feel. The first thing is the head with the rebreathers. That is actually a little bit more discernible to me straight away, which I think shows that the quality of the leaked one wasn't great. I still, as I say, think maybe he is a little bit too busy, but I'm starting to come to the conclusion that actually I'm finding that of pretty much all the new Death Guard stuff, or at least the humanoid models for the Death Guard stuff. Don't get me wrong, I really like them, and I think they're doing a good job with them, but if I had a criticism, if I had to be narrowed down to one overall criticism for the Death Guard range currently, it is just that the models are quite busy. And especially when you zoom in like this, when you've got a big group of Death Guard like this, it does feel it does feel really quite busy, especially in like clumps of units there. I'm stressing the fact that it's zoomed in because it's very easy to look at this and go, that's like not a good quality image. It's better when it's at its original resolution, but you also can't see quite as much detail without zooming in. But you know that they do look good all put together, but at a glance, I have no hope. Like at this group over here, for instance, I have no hope of identifying what their war gear is, just because there's so much going on in the models. And as I say, I do like the way they look, but it's not good for sort of glance recognition. So we've got Mortarion there in the forefront, looking real nice, looking way better. In the background here, you can see the Plague Burst Crawlers, Crawler Burst Plagues. I forget what they're called. I think it's Plague Burst Crawler. You can see those in the background. I still like them, and I have to admit the lighting, or alternatively colour scheme, whichever it is that is on that one there, that's making it seem less plain. I realise that it's kind of blocked by Mortarion a bit and it's not quite in focus, but that actually doesn't look as plain right there as the image that we had before. So I think maybe those things might turn out to be very heavily dependent on the paint job, like as opposed to everything else that seems to be coming out for Death Guard right now. Rather than having like an overabundance of detail like Mortarion, like the Plague Marines, these Plague Burst things don't seem to have quite as much crammed in, which I think works and doesn't work. I think it works because it means there's more room for interpretation, you can do more stuff, you know, more of your own thing with them, the way you paint them, but by the same token, when you put them next to something like Mortarion, they could look a little bit plain. But as I say, that to me, it looks pretty decent in the back there. Just got, you know, standard Land Raider over there, and I think that's a Rhino over there. Yeah, it says I can't see a turret. And a massive Defiler in the background, who presumably is all the way in the back because he's feeling shame at being the ugliest thing on the board, which is impressive given that this is a Nurgle army. I got the name of these guys wrong last time. Look, I'm not big up on my demons. Big flying dudes. You know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. Other important things. One thing that I want to note straight away, though, I say straight away, so one thing that I want to note, 7 minutes into the fucking video, I can't see the tally man from that video. And I have looked, I have been checking, I cannot see the dude, which is kind of disappointing. I was really hoping we'd get a good glimpse of him somewhere, that he might be fairly prominent, like kind of in the foreground somewhere, but I can't see him anywhere in this shot, which is, it makes me sad, because that is a class model, it looks dead good. Now, these lads, the Blight Drones, this is nice to see. This is interesting and nice, because if you have a look at them, they're going to be multi-part kits. You can already see they're going to be multi-part kits. They have different war gear options for a start, which is nice. I like that. I was hoping we'd have multiple loadouts for these things, and indeed we are going to get them, because that one there, that's got the Dark Imperium setup with the Plague Spears. God, there's a lot of the stuff with the word plague in for Nurgle, isn't there? And this dude clearly has something completely different. It kind of looks like a blight launcher, but it has got that canister on the side. So it could be anything. There's a little drip of something come out of it. So yeah, I can't really. It's sort of difficult to make out what that's got, but I think it looks like that there is the weapon system for that drone, so it's hard to make out what it is. Is that a close combat weapon? Look, you can sort of see blades there. I thought it was still guns, but looking at it now, if those are connected to that, which I'm pretty sure they are, that looks like some sort of weird, almost like a close combat variant of it. Because look, that looks like some sort of bladed arrangement on the front. Almost like a what's them things? Like a plough type thing, maybe? I don't know. Interesting. I can't wait to see if I'm right about that. I called the Grav Tank on Reddit a few months ago, so maybe I've got it again there. Who knows? But yeah, clearly multi-part kit, which is great, and it looks like we've got different armour and all that kind of thing for them, which looks really nice. We've got to talk about Typhus, ain't we? I'm going to be honest. I'm not convinced that I like that Typhus model. I think maybe the fact that the head is like a different colour is throwing me off a little bit. I don't think I've ever really seen him painted that way. before. The thing that actually throws me off more about Typhus than anything, I'm not a fan of the pose either. I always had him more as a Grim Reaper figure, in that he would just be striding forwards, mowing stuff down, not rallying the troops kind of thing. I don't know why, I just had him down as more of a methodical butcher than a leader of men, but I suppose he kind of has to be, because he's in charge of a shitload of Death Guard. But I don't know, I'm not feeling the pose a huge amount, although I have to admit that the pose on the old one was kind of static, so how do you find a middle ground, especially when it's a scythe? Because let's be honest, scythes are fucking stupid as weapons, they wouldn't work at all, but they look badass, so we just overlook it and pretend it's not an issue. The thing that's throwing me off about Typhus is that either these guys are just different Lords of Contagion, which could well be, they may well be Death Shroud, there's also that possibility. I've always had those funnels on the top of Typhus as being a signature for Typhus. That's how you know who Typhus is. He's got the single horn in the middle of the helmet, he's got the scythe, and he's got the Destroyer Hive funnels on the top of his thing. Now I'm wondering whether that's even anything to do with the Destroyer Hive at all, or whether that's just something that Nurgle likes, because these dudes have all got exactly the same. And the thing I don't like about this is that I feel like Typhus has always been a very recognisable and instantly recognisable model. It's always been a case of, oh, you know, funnel, horn, scythe, Typhus. You just know what that is. You know it immediately. You know it straight away. I mean, even the Forge World model, despite not being Nurglified, you can just see it's Typhus. It's very recognisable. Admittedly, Forge World have produced, you know, Death Shroud guys and, you know, Terminators with scythes and the exhaust vents on the top as well. I was kind of hoping that that wouldn't make it to 40k in a way, because these guys look too close to Typhus for me, and they take something away of that instant recognition that you get from him. That being said, I do like the models. I think they look pretty good. But yeah, I feel like they're just taking that nice little instant flash from Typhus, which is, I wouldn't say it's disappointing, but I think it's something to get used to. You can no longer just look and go, oh, I know what that guy is, because it may well be someone different now. Finally, actual proper Death Guard Terminators over there that admittedly don't have scythes, but it looks like those are going to be the Death Guard equivalent of your standard Chaos Terminators. It looks like we've got combi bolters, it looks like we've got an assault cannon there. Not an assault cannon, an auto cannon. Yeah, they look pretty damn good. I have to admit, once you see all of this stuff together, it makes for a really, really nice looking army, and I thought I was kind of over the Space Marine Primaris Death Guard hype of Dark Imperium, but seeing this lot all together, I'm kind of excited for it. I don't particularly want to be excited for it because there's a shitload of new models and that's a lot of fucking money, but I can't help myself. They just look pretty fucking good. So, what do you think? Do you think Mortarion looks better there? Do you think the picture and the lighting has made a huge difference? Do you like him more, or did you like him to begin with? Are you not too fussed about the busyness or the way he was portrayed in that Eat image? What do you reckon of Typhus? Are you a little bit disappointed like me, or do you quite like him? I would prefer something a little less kind of, yeah, from Typhus, but, you know, you may well disagree. You're going to have to let me know. I won't list every single thing in this fucking picture and ask what you think about it. I'll just say, what do you reckon as a whole? Are you looking forward to this stuff? Are you excited by this stuff? The models that we haven't seen before that you've seen here, do you like the look of them? Let me know in the comments below. As always, I always read them. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, this is September that the Death Guard Codex is coming out, and the Adeptus Mechanicus Codex will come out a little bit after that. I haven't shown you any of the Adeptus Mechanicus stuff yet because there isn't any so far. At least there isn't anything through official channels. So when we see more of that, we'll talk about more of that. Thank you very much for watching. There's the usual array of videos to click in the thing, and there's a subscribe and a Patreon and all that stuff. Click it if you like, don't click if you don't want to. It's entirely up to you. I will see you for the next one. Toodaloo.